Hello everyone, welcome to YRR Help. Today I'm going to show you how to create a simple RESTful web service in PHP. This is going to be a very simple tutorial, so get along with me. So this is a web service which we're going to create now. It's very simple. Your domain name and then your parameters. So here if you notice, I'm accessing price of that particular book here. 348 is the price here for that particular C language book, and if I request Java, it will respond with particular price. So this is the web service, and if I try to access some random book which is not available in database, it should return run. So here it returned null, so saying message no content found. So this is a web service which we are going to create, and before diving into code, let me explain what is web service and why do we need to create a web service. So basically most of the people will confuse with what is a website and what is a web service. So here is a simple and basic difference between website and web service. So website will, if you try to request a website, it will respond in HTML format, and these requests are done by human beings via clients like web browsers or something else. So that's about websites. And when it comes to web service, these are not meant for human beings. I mean, human beings won't directly access web service. These are accessed by some other programs, and the response will be in JSON or XML format. So here XML and JSON will be message format between sender and requester. So basically these web services are used to communicate between heterogeneous systems. Say for example, if you have a Android app and you want to communicate with other platforms like PHP websites or any Windows app, you're going to respond with JSON format or either XML format. So that's the way how communication done between two platforms via web service. So basically there are two ways of creating these web services. The first thing is SOAP protocol and RESTful architecture, and I have done a video on SOAP protocol. If you guys are interested in SOAP protocol, go and check my playlist. And now I'm going to concentrate on RESTful web service. So create a PHP file. This is going to be a web service, RESTful web service. So the first basic thing you need to do is to process the client request. So first thing is process client request. As I told you, client will request via URL. Request will be via URL, so you need to process that URL first. And basically URL will be something like this. So as I told you, this is URL structure for my web service. After some time I will modify this URL for user friendly, but right now stick to this format. And now I'm going to process this URL. So first of all, I'm going to check whether the request is empty or not. I mean, name of the book is empty or not. So if not empty of, so first of all save this file. So I'm going to save this file in rest folder, and I'm going to call it as index.php. So if not empty of, so it's going to be get request format. So if the request is not empty, then we're going to process something. So just in case if request is empty or request format is incorrect, we're going to throw we're going to set headers as invalid request, something like that, invalid request. And then so we're going to process our functions here. So this is where our core functions goes if the name is correct. So first of all we're going to retrieve that book price. So here I have created a function here. So in this function, you don't need to worry about this function. This is not at all related to REST service. This is my core function. So this is a book array which holds a book name and book price. Here I have 3 values, and this loop here will iterate to each and every element of this array, and it will find for that particular request. So this is the find is name of the book which we want the price, and it will return with price. So this is the basic functionality of this function. So I'm going to check. So first of all, I'm going to retrieve that request. So I'm not sanitizing input here. If you're implementing in real world, you may want to sanitize inputs. And then I need price. So so here I have a function here, get price. So first of all, save this in my root directory, rest folder, and I'm going to call it as functions.php. So we have a function which is get price, which will return the price of that particular book. So price is equals to get price of that particular book name. So here we go. This name is the book name which is requested by client here, either C, Java, or whatever it may be, and we are retrieving that request here name, and then we are using this function get price to get the price of this function. So now the price is in this price variable. Now you can return this price to client, but before returning directly, we are going to check whether the price is empty or not. So if the price is empty, which means the book is not available, so we're going to throw a error message saying book not found, something like that. So just in case, if book is if the price variable is empty, we're going to say like book not found, and else we're going to respond with book price. So this is the basic thing, and the next thing is you need to not found. So the next thing is you need to find a way to deliver the response. As I told you, response delivery will be in either JSON or XML format, but at this standard JSON is very simple and lightweighted. Most of the people are using JSON, so I'm also going to use JSON here. So I'm going to create a separate function for the deliver response. So separate function. So as I told you, you should not respond in HTML format. The response will be in JSON. Deliver response of the first thing is status code. I'm not going to explain about status codes and those things here, because those are basics of REST. You go and check it somewhere. Status message and the actual data. So this is the function which will deliver the response. The response not only contains the price, and it also contains status message is like whether the request is valid or not, whether the response is found or not. So those status messages. So I'm going to set a header for that. Header saying 1.1 or 1.0 status, and then status message. So this is header now, and as I told you, these three variables need to be formatted in JSON. So I'm going to store these three variables in a simple array called response. So I'm going to store these three variables in a response array. Status is equals to, and we're going to encode this array into JSON format. And then second thing is status message. And then final thing is actual data. Still you can implement a lot of things. As I told you, this is a very basic architecture, basic implementation. If you're going to implement in real world, you may want to add lot of features to this code. And the final thing is I'm going to encode this into JSON format. So this is the main difference between website and web service. Instead of responding in HTML format, you're going to respond in JSON. So JSON encode is an inbuilt function in PHP. So I'm going to encode this response array, and that's simple. JSON response. So that's it, very simple. And before delivering a response, make sure that your headers are set in JSON format. So you can either respond in XML format, that depends on your necessity. Content content type, application or JSON, or else XML. That's up to you. So here, so we're just going to use this function which we are created now. Deliver response of, it will accept 3 parameters. The first one is status. 200 means okay, and status message will be, that's up to you. Let's say book found, and with the price. Sorry, actually this is empty price, right? So we're going to say book not found, and we're going to respond with null data. And the same thing here, we're going to respond book price here, saying book found, and with actual book price. And here we have another instance where if the request is not valid, at the time we're going to say, I think 400 invalid request. And null data as usual. So this is the basic web service. First of all, we have processed our client request, URL. So we're going to check whether the URL is valid or not, and we have if the method is available or not, and then we are responding with particular response. And I have created a separate function for delivering a response which converts entire message into single array, and then single array to JSON. And we're going to set headers here. So this is very simple. And so let me check this first. So localhost rest, so in my case name is equals to C. So here I have some error in line 5. Don't worry, I will check line 5. Okay, I think I missed something here. And one thing I also forgot to include that function here, include functions file here. Sorry. So let me check this code now. Okay, it's working fine. So if I try to access Java, it will respond with particular Java 299. So Java 299 on PHP must be 267. Okay, 267. If I try to access a random book, it's returning null. And if I try to access some other function or some other parameters, it should say invalid request. So this is very basic web service. The second thing is you need to make this URL user friendly. So when client is accessing this request via URL, the URL must be very user friendly. So instead of saying name is equals to C or name is equals to Java, you should say something like this, name/C. So it should URL should be like this. So we're going to convert the URL to like this using htaccess format. So here I have already got htaccess file here. So this is very simple. We're just going to check whatever in the domain, after domain name, we are going to convert this to, we're going to route this to index.php/name. So I'm going to save it as .htaccess file. In my rest folder. So I'm going to save it as .ht access. So it will route URLs. So now instead of saying rest that question mark name is equals to something, I can directly add rest/c. So it's working now. So URL is very friendly now. So ///java. So that's it. It's very pretty cool and simple. Book not found, same thing. So this is very basic, simple, but we have just created a web service now which is delivering the response, and in next tutorial I'm going to show you how to consume this web service. As I told you, we should not access this web service via browsers, so we should access this web service via your program. So that's the main functionality of web service. So in next tutorial I'm going to show you how to consume this web service in some other programs using curl implementation. So thanks for viewing. If you have any doubts or if you are facing any problems, just comment here. I will respond as soon as possible.